Uh, what wouldn't trolls do? Okay, I'm gonna give it a couple of minutes before everybody gets here, and then I am going to explain to you guys what's happening. Hi guys, I'm back. I'm back on a special mission. We're gonna do counteroffensive Q&A, but also if you remember a certain someone with over 240 accounts, this live is pretty much about them. Can't tell you hi Jennifer, hi Juju. Can't tell you exactly what's happening, but we're going to utilize this time specifically to go over some counteroffensive Q&A. So first of all, I'm going to read some news. I'm also live on YouTube, on Twitch, and on Twitter as per usual, which is, a little bit out of ordinary for me, but you will find out hopefully very soon why this is happening at like midnight. But hey, why this is happening at like midnight? But yeah. So there have been some updates, very few, but there have been some. Well, actually, wow, there's more updates than I thought there. Huh? Yeah, there are quite a few updates actually. So I reckon this is a troll trap. No, no, it's not. No, it's not. But no, it's not. Anyways, if more of you would like to migrate to YouTube, I'm also streaming on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and my YouTube is the same as my TikTok. So there have been a lot more updates. There have been some Twitter things. So I'm going to read you the updates that happened since my live earlier today, and then I would like to do reckon. I love the word reckon. We were just talking about it, but I would love to do a little bit of a Q&A on what you guys want to find out about the counteroffensive, because I feel like in the past couple of days the chat has been flowing so fast that it was kind of hard to sort of concentrate on anything. YouTube is 10 to 15 seconds delayed, so I'm here. No worries. Okay, hi Praxis. Hi John. Hi Tammy. Hi Kat. Hi everyone. So unlike normal, this live is also on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, just FYI, so you can also go over there. So first on the docket is we have a video of a Ukrainian military man heating up his food on burned equipment that I'm assuming Russian soldiers left behind. So I will show you what that looks like. Героям слава, John. What did you do, Skylar? Yeah, that is incredibly hot. Then there is a hi Singapore. Then there is a very cool video about Ukrainian tankmen. If you haven't heard, September 11th in Ukraine is a holiday. It's a work holiday. It's the day of Ukrainian tank operators. So there are quite a few videos that are dedicated to them, and this is one of them. You know, Azov, the troll favorite. Actually, the news that came out at end of the day today were all really nice and very glory to the raisins. Hi. Oh, thank you, Kay. The news that came out today after dark basically have all been very positive, which is very good so far. If you remember, there is this little girl, her name is Marina, and she's 6 years old, and she's undergoing treatment at Ahmadid Children's Hospital, and she was taking her first steps in a prosthesis the other day. And today I'll show you something because she has been doing physical therapy and she's doing some incredible things. In early May, a Russian missile hit Marina's family house in the Kherson region. It caused serious injuries to the girl's legs. One leg had to be amputated. When Marina was admitted to Ahmadid Children's Hospital, she was constantly lying down and hardly ever sat up. Together with the doctors, they did a lot of work, and now the girl has coordination, walks, and jumps, and I will show you what that looks like. So today, she was doing some incredible things, and this is one of those incredible things. This is two of those incredible things. These were her first steps. We saw that the other day. And there was also a video that I somehow missed of her climbing up, which I think this is my favorite thing to see, because look at how amazing she's doing. She's doing so good. What happened to her leg? Russian shelling happened to her leg. A missile hit her house in early May. Привіт. Привіт, Кипарисик. Eric Schmidt, an American billionaire and former CEO and head of the Google board, came to Ukraine. As part of his visit, he met with Minister of Defense of Ukraine, Oleksiy Reznikov, and head of the Office of the President, Andriy Yermak. They reportedly talked about technological solutions that could help Ukraine accelerate the deoccupation of territories, restore its territorial integrity, and return to a safe, peaceful life. Lithuanian Foreign Minister Gabrielius Landsbergis said that Russia's war against Ukraine should end with Russia's unconditional surrender. No more doubts, no more negotiations with terrorists. Those who doubted the strength of Ukraine should apologize. Ukraine protected us all, even when some did not believe that it would succeed. It is time to express our deep gratitude, Landsbergis stressed. Also, for all of the ladies on this live, hi Luann. Also, for all of the ladies on this live, if you have never seen the Lithuanian foreign minister, I will tell you, you guys are missing out. For all the single ladies over there, if you're in Lithuania and you're looking for a husband, or if you're looking to move to Lithuania, and while looking for a husband, look at this man. Look at this fine specimen of a man. And he's pro-Ukrainian. You just listen. Thank you, Angela Runner. Hi, good to see you. For your mom, he's like, okay, my mom is 54. This man's is like in his early 30s, I want to say. Like he's probably like 32. I feel like my mom is not gonna go that route. I know he has hair, right? Listen, ladies, for all of you single ladies, there you go. John Walker, will Russia defeat Ukraine? Well, I don't know. What do you think? Since right now Russia is quite literally retreating and running away in panic, it looks like Ukraine will defeat Russia. So yeah, Russia is not going to defeat Ukraine. I'm sorry to tell you that. Thank you, Antelepe. Russia offered India a discount on oil. To do this, New Delhi must withdraw its support for the initiative of the G7 countries to set a cap on oil prices, writes the Indian newspaper Business Standard, citing unnamed officials and the Indian Foreign Ministry. So it looks like Russia is quite literally trying to bribe India for India to step away from from basically the international standards, which is at this point a new low, but also shows how desperate they are because they're fully understanding how much money they're going to lose by most of these countries setting a cap on purchase of oil. So they are going any route they can possibly go in order to try and preserve their oil sales, which is at this point kind of hilarious because it really shows panic not only within the army but within the country itself, because they're gonna start losing money like crazy right now. Armed forces of Ukraine shot down a Russian Su-25, which was covering the withdrawal of Russian troops. Ukrainian servicemen of the 92nd Brigade shot down a Russian Su-25SM, which was covering the withdrawal of Russian troops. Board number RF95134. Oh, it's a troll. You know, the person who was asking that question, his name is John Walker, and he has a questionable profile picture, and he is definitely a trolley lolly. We love trolley lollies, don't we? This is how our defenders are met in the de-occupied territories.
Дякую. Дякую.
Я налию тобі, я налию собі вина.
Оце таке.
А хочеш із мене? Ти взяла моє життя і не віддала, хто ти випила моє кров. Я не впала, твої очі кличуть, хочуть мене. I don't know why this video is buffering so bad, but you get the gist. People are very happy. I think one of my favorite videos actually of like Ukrainian people meeting the armed forces of Ukraine in de-occupied territories has been quite literally there was this older couple and they were so incredibly happy. They were like, oh my God, we were waiting for you for 6 months. Like, you guys were so happy to see you. And then they go, hey, we actually have leftover hash browns. You want some? And it was like the cutest thing. Hi, Thomas. And it was like the cutest thing that I have seen in the longest time. It's like they just saw Ukrainian forces, and that same second they were like, wait a second, wait. We actually made hash browns. Do you want some hash browns? So have they made it back in territory stolen pre-February 24th or not yet? I haven't been able to closely follow the maps. So Rice, you're not the only one who hasn't been able to closely follow the maps since simply because the maps are a mess right now. Honestly, it's really hard to keep up with them. What I do want to say is that Ukraine did not make up all of the territory that we've lost pre-February 24th. We still have a lot of Kherson to deoccupy. We still have Mariupol to deoccupy. We do have a lot of places still to deoccupy. But in the last 5 days, we have recaptured more territory than Russia was able to capture in like 4 months. So we did deoccupy the entirety of northern territory of Kharkiv, and Ukrainian troops have quite literally reached the border of with Russia through Kharkiv. So let me see. I'm going to go on Twitter and I'm going to show you the map from the Institute for the Study of War, and I will show you what the most current map looks like. Keep in mind that these maps quite literally change every hour because Ukrainian counteroffensive has been, especially in Kharkiv region, quite incredible and quite intense. So here is what the most current map looks like. But again, every time Institute for the Study of War publishes a map, they literally go, hey, this is what happened, unless they have recaptured a whole lot of other territory, because all of the international war experts right now are having the hardest time updating these maps because of how fast they update. But this blue territory has been liberated in basically the past 5 days. And to give you the whole picture of how much territory that is, I will show you the full map of what I will try to show you the full map of what the occupied territories look like to date. So that blue is what Ukraine took back in 5 days. And that is something that took Russia like 4 months to occupy. So there you have it. This is the newest map of basically deoccupation. Ah, yes, another Russian troll comes in and tells me how to spell the name of my country. No, Igor. Igor Yovanovi or Jovanovi, whatever. Hi, привет, Kirill. Kirill with 2 L's, so I'm going to assume you're Russian. Oh, I cannot wait to hear what you have to say. Oh my gosh, exciting. Oh, hi Pikachu, that's awesome. I'm so happy that you were able to visit Ukraine at some point. Which cities have you been? Which cities have you been able to visit in Ukraine? So, I want to show you some more videos from Balaklia. I think you remember that. I think you remember that video of that photo, rather, of Ukrainian soldiers holding the Ukrainian flag when they freed the city of Balaklia. But there is a video behind it, and here it is. This is from September 8th. But this is the video behind the photo. So this is oh my gosh, guys, I think I've showed you this video before. It came out on September 9th, so not even like today, not the day before, but the day before that, and I was talking about it on live for a little bit, but it was all over Twitter, and I think this is one of my favorite videos from this invasion so far. But this was basically 2 minutes before, like, this video aired like maybe an hour after Russian propagandists were saying that everything is fine and everything is under control. Nobody's recapturing Izum. Nobody's recapturing any cities in the Kharkiv region. Everything is fine. And this is when like every propagandist on air was like, "It's fine. Everything is fine." So this is Russia. This is a Russian tank running away from Ukrainian artillery. Kirill, I'm from Ukraine. So also the funniest thing about this entire video is that, so Russia's slogan is "We do not leave ours behind," and it's "Своих не бросаем," and that's the slogan for Russia in terms of like this whole military offensive, right? For the special operation, it's "Своих не бросаем," which I'm assuming they're talking about the Russians in Donbass that they came to liberate, right? But this is the demonstration of how much they do not leave their own behind, because if you saw those like little red circles, those were like Russian troops that were falling out of the tank as it was bolting away. and then it hit the tree, and I thought it was just like the most perfect thing that could happen as an ending to this tirade. I thought it was hilarious. And yes, I do, I do want that. Ты будешь меня ненавидеть, если я скажу, что я из России. Да, я начну писать заклинания, как ведьма, и проклинать всех твоих родственников и есть русских детей. I love when like Russians come onto my stream and ask me if I'm gonna hate them if they tell me they're from Russia. Like, yes, I'm gonna go eat your babies, and I'm going to go write, I don't know, some sort of a like freaking, I don't know, like I have better things to do in my life than hate every single Russian that comes onto my stream. Like, am I going to be super enthusiastic about you? Probably not. Am I going to hate you? No. If you're willing to learn and if you're willing to see what your country is doing to my country, and if you're willing to like know exactly what Russia has done and how much and how you've like twisted history and how you've done all of that, then sure, yes, please stay. You're welcome to be here. Except my only problem with Russians usually is that normally when you guys come over onto my streams and I say something about Russia that you don't like, you jump into but Ukraine, but not all Russians, but not all this, and that is about when my patience drops. My patience drops because I'm not here to argue with Russian people about butts and whatever, because it's just not it's just not something I want to do. It's not my thing. Oh my gosh. So today Twitch for some reason is the best. For some reason Twitch today is the most troll infused platform ever. You're a propagandist. First off, it's you are with an apostrophe. It's YOU apostrophe RE. You're welcome for the grammar. You're a propagandist. Your stream's a joke. You have nothing better to do than sit around and spread BS. Good luck with all of this. Americans are waking up. Deal with it. Yes, Americans are waking up to the world where Russia is sanctioned out of its ass and out of its wazoo, and Americans are waking up to the world in which Russians can't travel anymore. I feel like you, my little dear trollop, needs to deal with the fact that sweet summer child, need to deal with the fact that Russia's losing and you're soon going to lose your job being a Kremlin bot because, first of all, if you had to take that job, it seems like you have no better skills. Like, dude, if I were you, maybe at least I could try and like study computer programming, and then you would maybe get a job somewhere, and maybe you could like one day escape whatever deep Novosibirskaya Oblast you're from, and you could maybe have a toilet, which will be nice. I swear. I mean, I promise you, toilets are nice, and you could like the feel of that. But you decided to be a Kremlin bot. So yeah, good luck when your job doesn't exist anymore, because there is no connection from Russia into the world, and you're not going to be able to do that. But is okay. And now, in order to give you a bit of a heart attack, I'm going to show you troll particularly. In order to give you particularly, my favorite, a heart attack is I'm going to show you how the servicemen of the armed forces of Ukraine begin another round of the counteroffensive to strengthen the spirit by mass performance of the national anthem of Ukraine. This is how they set themselves up for victory. High morale is key to triumph. But you wouldn't know what that feels like. Ні слава, ні воля, ще нам, браття українці, усміхнеться доля. Згинуть наші вороженьки, як роса на сонці. Запануємо ми, браття, у своїй сторонці. No. You don't like that, do you? I'm sure this is like holy water for you. I feel like the anthem of Ukraine, when trolls come around, is like the same as sprinkling holy water onto, demons and such. I feel like they immediately just disperse and disappear and start burning up and stuff. Okay, so hi, China. Hi, G. Okay. Now Russians have a real disaster at the front. Ukrainian troops in a daring counteroffensive liberated Izum, Kupiansk, and the entire Kharkiv region in this direction. Even the best American analysts could not have predicted this. The pace of the Ukrainian offensive is truly impressive, and this is where I'm saying, you know, most of the international institutes for the study of war and places like that quite literally can't keep up because it's like every hour the maps change. Like, for instance, poli-sci history guy here, Ryan, who is one of the moderators, yesterday was trying to find a freaking updated map, and he literally couldn't. Couldn't go to sleep until he found one, and I think I found one for him at like 4 a.m. and was like, here, rejoice. There's nothing else there because there's really like, we all collectively were trying to find an updated map and no one was publishing it because 2 days before, I think, Institute for the Study of War posted a map, and they were like, Ukraine is likely to recapture this city in 72 hours. And then, like, I think not even an hour later, news came out that this city had been recaptured for like a couple of hours now, but this was now confirmed. And so now anytime the Institute of the Study of War posts their predictions and what territory Ukraine is going to be able to recapture, they're like, if they haven't done so yet. So Ukraine is likely to recapture this territory in, let's say, 36 hours if they haven't done so yet. It's like the funniest thing that I have seen so far, because they're just like, maybe yes, maybe no, we don't know. But here is the video that followed that update.
Изюм. 25 дом лесная. Ну и троечка там, ССОшная. Такое там. СПДшники какие-то там. Техника, блядь. РШГ.
Oh, also, I'm going to show you, before I like continue talking about this, I'm going to show you something incredibly funny. So there was a troll that came onto my stream, that came onto one of my videos, like, I want to say about 5 months ago. They called themselves Yewleea Kane, obviously. Белые кресты — это просто позначки украинские. Русские имеют эту Z-ку и эту V. Боже мой. О, господи, окей. Нет, то, что в 1941 году, Кирилл, означало то, что вы спрашиваете, это ваши Z-ки и буквы V, окей? Anyways, so basically there was a troll. There was a troll that was on one of my videos like a long time ago, and they basically came in and they were trying to pretend like they are from Ukraine, but obviously yours truly knows they're not from Ukraine. So I found them out, and I made a video, and I called them out on the video. And so I will show you the video first, because I was like quite literally talking to this troll and like kind of explaining to them why I know they're not from the city they say they are. I did employ Squirrel in it. Basically, I made Squirrel pretend like Squirrel believes them. And Squirrel is one of my moderators. I made Squirrel pretend like Squirrel believes them, that they're from Donbass. But so this is what the troll wrote under the Azov video, and it was like, "What are you talking about? I'm from Luhansk. Thank God I fled there years ago. But the fact you're looking more and more like paid journalist." And so I went and asked a Squirrel to pretend like he believes her, that she was bombed, and we found like one of the most random neighborhoods in Luhansk. And so that neighborhood, like, no one literally lives there because it's like a park. It's a park. There is like trees, there are like stones, but there are no apartments. There is nothing there. And then there is an aviation museum, and that's it. There is like no apartments. You can't live there. And so Squirrel went in and was like, wait, are you from Leninsky Rayon? Because I heard it was bombed the most. And she was like, oh yes, I am. And then I was like, haha, gotcha. So I made a video about it because I thought it was so funny. Here's the video in question. I will show it to you in a second, and I'm going somewhere with this because this troll has made a comeback. She's got perfect American accent. I know I have an ambiguously American accent. You wait until I say 21 person, like I have been doing for a while now. Apparently that apparently it's 21 people. I thought it was 21 person and 20 people, but so anyways.
You know what time of the day it is? It is the time for my favorite rubric, and I think I finally peaked and trolled a troll. Yelena Kane over here is claiming to be from Luhansk and having been bombed by Azov. So I conducted a special operation. Yes, special operation. Yelena, I'm sure you know this word very well. And I enlisted one of my favorite moderators, Secret Squirrel Marine, to help me out.
So
this is what he said.
The Leninsky Rayon situation.
Now, what we did is we looked up Luhansk on a map, picked a random neighborhood, and if you look closely over there, these are the two first things that come up when you
the
Google
museum
Luhansk,
in Leninsky
you know?
Rayon is the first thing that comes
to
up.
my pride and joy, Yelena took.
So she goes, yes, actually, I am not sure why this creator is laughing about it. I used to live right by the aviation museum. So,
and is claiming that she indeed is from this neighborhood, and it indeed has been bombed. Now that's made up information, but that's besides the point. So if you look over here, nobody can live near aviation museum because this is what the territory looks like. Well, Yelena, I hope you enjoy living in your Russian propaganda world, and the 50 rubles were worth it. Have a good day. Bye.
So she deactivated her account, or it deactivated its account after that, because quite clearly we were like, dude, we know what you're doing here. Stop it, right? And then today, she reactivated her account, and she decided to come back. She changed her profile picture, but of course I remember Yelena Kane, you know? Of course, how can I forget Yelena Kane, my favorite Russian troll in existence? Anyways, so she goes, interesting. What about Ukraine is above everything? So first of all, Ukraine is above. We do have that motto. We say Україна понад усе, which means Ukraine is above everything for a Ukrainian person, not above everyone, not above every other country, not above everyone else. Ukraine comes first, as in Ukraine above everything for a Ukrainian citizen. So for a Ukrainian citizen, Ukraine comes first. That's what it means. But anyways, so she goes, interesting. What about Ukraine is above everything? Україна понад усе, or whatever it is in that language. She's pretending like she doesn't speak that language, but I thought Yelena was from Luhansk. How does she not know that language, or whatever it is in that language, like honey bunnies? Apparently, you fled in 2010. On your profile picture, you look like you're steadily approaching your 40s. So you would remember to say Ukraina понад усе in Ukrainian if you grew up in Luhansk, you know? Deutschland, Deutschland über alles. Exact same wording, time to think. Thinking smiley. And I'm like, Yelena Troll, that language. I thought you were from Leninsky Rayon and you were bombed in Donbass. I remember you. Welcome back. And Yelena again deactivated her profile. I consider that a win. I consider that a win over trolls, and I know this is like so stupid, but I'm so proud of myself. I'm like, honey, I have good memory. Stop it. So that was my little story with the troll today that wasn't smart enough to troll me back, or wasn't smart enough to troll me. There is also a person under the name of Kirill over here, and they are saying, they're saying you're taking down USSR monuments, though. Why? Then he says to someone else, think about it. Grandfathers died for these lands fighting fascism, and now these fascists are breaking all the monuments to the defenders. Honey bunny, Russian fascists were never Ukrainian defenders. You are Russian, Kirill, and for you, maybe USSR was a great power that was protecting you and thinking about its citizens, which it wasn't, but that's besides the point. But it was the most kind to Russians. See, to us, every single person who was in USSR was looking down on us. There were 3 consecutive genocides of Ukrainians in the 20s, in the 30s, and in the 40s that wiped out from 8 to 15 million people. So we are taking down monuments to the fascists. We're not the fascists here. Because you invaded us and colonized us does not mean that the fact that your grandfathers fought for some lands means anything to us. We were fighting those Red Army grandfathers for our land. And that's what our grandfathers were doing. So you and the USSR couldn't come and bring us into under the umbrella of Russia. So no, we're taking down the USSR monuments because they're not ours. They're your culture. You keep it. We didn't ask for it. You came and imposed it on us. And now, I have no idea why Russia thought it could win. I've never won a fight with her either. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm from Lviv as well. It's nice to hear. Also, I wanted to say, also USN's basically, not basically, but welcome. Also, Chris Jordan asks, can Ukrainian and Russians understand each other's language? Ukrainians can understand Russian and in most cases can speak it, because Russian was imposed onto Ukrainian people during USSR and during Tsarist Russia. Ukrainian language was wiped out. It was forbidden to speak Ukrainian. So we were basically colonized and imposed Russian language. Most Russians don't understand Ukrainian. They understand some words because we have like 62% of syntactic similarity between our languages. And before someone says that they are very similar, that is not true, because for one, Spanish and Italian have 80% of syntactical similarity. Herojem slava. And German and Dutch have 82% of syntactic similarity. So Russian and Ukrainian only have 60% of syntactic similarity, or 62. And so no, Russians can't usually understand Ukrainian. However, Ukrainians always do understand Russian because, well, it was imposed onto us. And hi Druv. Also, if I pronounce your name incorrect, and I'm very sorry for it, because some names I've never heard before, but if I do so, if you could please kindly let me know how to pronounce your name by, like, spelling it out. Like, let's say my name is Yulia, and if I were to explain to someone how to pronounce it, I would do YOO-LEE -AH, so that way people know it's Yulia, like Yulia. So if hi Gorilla Joe, if you could tell me how to pronounce your name, if I pronounce it wrong, please let me know. I would like to refer to everybody by their actual name. Ukraine language and Polish are closer. Yes, much closer. And Svitkavi, yes, it's one of my favorite places to go. They have such good coffee. Oh my God. Also, why is the garbage truck here? It's downpouring. Like, don't they have like days that are off garbage? Also, I'm surprised. Where's my favorite troll? He's not here. You know, I'm very, very upset that he's not here because, you know, it's all about him today. And it's and I don't understand. I'm very upset. I'm incredibly upset. I'm incredibly upset that my favorite stalker troll isn't showing up. He's made like upwards of like Sonia. No, I was saying there is a guy, and I'm assuming his name is Druv, but I'm not sure. So I would like to be able to pronounce their name right. But Sonia is a very nice name. But yeah, so 200 plus at this point. Yes, exactly. Where is my trollop? I miss my trollop. He even tried to, you know, there is this one troll. He's made 200 plus accounts, and he comes over to my streams every freaking day. Every freaking day. Like, genuinely, every freaking day. And he makes, like, at this point, it's the same person. They always have the same profile picture. All of their nicknames are about the same, and they come in and they just straight up harass me, and then they'll get blocked, and then my mom's block them again and again, and they come back and they're like, why did you block me? I want to talk to you. Why did you block me? Oh my god. They were like pretending to be a 13-year-old child in Germany. They were pretending to be that child's dad. They were doing so many crazy things, and now they're not here. They came into the stream today, and they were getting blocked, and then they started showering me with like roses and stuff. Crush baby trolls, me too. Drav, like that, or because see the DH is where I have an issue because I don't know. See the DH is where I have an issue because I don't know how to pronounce. Thank you. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, Sonia. We have Nightbot, and Nightbot is a little, you know, Nightbot needs to cool it off a little bit. He does not like emojis. I don't know what his deal is, but Nightbot is very sensitive. I know. On Twitch, there is Nightbot, and anytime somebody sends emojis, the Nightbot is like, cool it off. And I'm like, you cool it off, man. But yeah, basically the troll started showering me with like roses and other gifts so we wouldn't block it. And I'm like, dude, are you crazy? I don't care. You could give me the lion for all I care, and I would still not care. I don't want you here. I don't want you here at all. Yeah, so but I feel a little bit upset that, you know, the troll did not show up because it's literally been like 200 account. I'm not kidding. You think that I'm exaggerating. But no, 200 accounts. I pronounced it in the most unique way, but I want to pronounce it in the right way. Wait, no worries. You pronounced it in the most unique way, and you said that it's Druv? So would it be Druv? Would it be Druv? I'm sorry. I'm also sorry if it's annoying. I just I hate, like, you know, my name is Yulia, and I feel like as far as foreign names for Americans go, this is a pretty easy one because it's a Julia with a Y instead of a J. But the way that people butcher my name, like Yewleea, Yulia, Yulia ha, like literally so many. When I go into an Uber, and you know, at the end of the when you get out of the Uber, it says like dropping off and then your name. So Uber and Lyft both say dropping off Yewleea, and that's so weird because there's only one A at the end of my name, so I don't get that. I don't get it all. By minute cell phone time sending process. Oh my god, that's so funny. Yulia ha. Yeah, that's pretty much that's my name. Yulia ha is exactly what it is. But what was I gonna say? Oh, I'm going to look up. Okay. Listen, we're learning. What do you mean?
Droof.
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 Droof. Okay, I could do that.
Droof.
Okay, Droof. Droof? Okay, I could do that. See, I do that with Irish names sometimes too, because sometimes they can be very difficult. But yeah, so hopefully that was right. I love how YouTube has a section on how to pronounce any name. Any name. If someone has the time to create 200 accounts, he must be very unemployed and he must be very sad. That's exactly what I was saying. I was saying like they're either, see, like I thought they were a Russian troll from like a Russian troll farm, but then turned out but then when they started sending gifts, I was like, okay, well, they're not getting paid that much. Okay, like they're not getting paid to harass me and send me gifts. Like it'd be, I know, I would think that that would be a troll farm if they weren't sending gifts and they just kept like stamping accounts. But then with the gifts, I was like, okay, dude, you gotta just be like, you gotta, I don't know, see, like here's the thing, in there is this phrase in Ukrainian, and it's called dushavno chvory. Like and it's not mentally ill, because it's basically just kind of like someone who's a little, yeah, it's like a sick obsession. I can walk you through how to pronounce Tony. Just let me know. Ooh, you mean tonu? Tone Y? Tone Y, right? Tony. That would be tone Y, right? Am I getting it right? I think Tone Y is such a pretty name. Tone Y. Tone Y. So beautiful. Your parents, oh my gosh, they must have, so unique. Oh, never heard that name before. Russian troll farm. Yeah. Russian troll farm is actually a real thing, like quite literally. Доброго ранку. Дуже дякую. Joni, nice to meet you. Also, as I said previously, if I mispronounce your name, please feel free to let me know how to pronounce it right so I can refer to you properly, because I absolutely hate when people don't even bother to pronounce people's names right. But anyways, the counteroffensive in Kharkiv region continues. Cities are liberated almost every hour. Video from the field commander of the special unit Kraken, Serhiy Voluchko, Chile. His fighters liberated Savinci, destroyed a lot of Russian equipment, and burned the flags of Russia and the USSR, which Putin's soldiers left there. Take a look.
Суббота, 10 число, 11 часов. Савинская селищная рада. Савинцы теперь это Украина, никаких здесь тряпок не будет. Все будет Украина.
Вандал, пожалуйста. Вот это вот он рисует в подъездах, на танках.
Его пытались тащить, понял.
Все, это наше. Вандал.
The farmer of that farm is Vladimir Putin precisely. Why 3 dots on support Ukraine? Why 3 dots after support Ukraine? 200 days of struggle. In the first days of the full-scale Russian invasion, it was said that Ukrainians would not last even a few hours. The reality is different. Ukraine has withstood. Ukraine has pushed the enemy. Ukraine is going on the counteroffensive. Today, our center also celebrates 200 days of work. On February 24th, 2022, we met a civilian journalist and enthusiast. Today, we know the value of struggle and truth. We know what death and life are. We continue to work 24/7. We look forward to celebrating Ukrainian Victory Day. And this is the news publication from which I am reading. And drove on YouTube says, who's the farmer of the Russian troll farm? Vladimir Putin. And I love this. Yes, he's quite literally the chief farmer general. he like pays them he pays them to spread propaganda, to farm some propaganda online, and he also pays them to multiply themselves in numbers, you know. So yes, that is you are correct. That was a very good observation. Anyways, let me see if there is. I saw another update. The reserve power transmission line to the Zaporizhia NPP has been restored per IAEA reports. A backup transmission line to the Zaporizhia NPP in Ukraine has been restored, providing the plant with external power supply necessary for reactor cooling and other safety functions, the report says. Also, Dhruv, where in India are you? Like, what time zone? Or rather, like, what time zone are you in? I guess I'm so curious. It must be like at least 11 hours, right? So it must be like 1 p.m. or noon for you, right? Because you are far away from the US. Okay, let me see. This one actually has quite a few good videos, but they're never translated into English, but they might have something pretty good. Oh my gosh. Huh. Yeah, that was the one that was building firewood stove. Українська розвідка військового, так званий ЛНР, який розповідає про втечу з Харківщини та очікує атаки ЗСУ. Interesting. This is Bucha Cemetery, and all those are unidentified bodies. So this is Bucha Cemetery. If you remember, Bucha was the first town, and here's the thing, you know, when we talk about all of these amazing gains and liberations, one of the things that we don't think about is all of the atrocities that are going to be uncovered with those liberations. We all remember how everybody was shell-shocked from Bucha. Bucha was occupied for a little over 30 days. These places have been occupied for more than 6 months. So first of all, Joni is saying here, Ukraine surprised all with counterattack. I hope news from Russia is not true. 100,000 North Korean soldiers and a lot of ammo is coming. So first of all, Russia now can't deliver any ammo to Ukraine because Ukraine had taken over all of their logistic hubs for railroad transportation. So they can only bring that ammo into Crimea. And from there, they have to figure out how to bring it to the front lines, which is going to be incredibly difficult, provided that Ukrainian army is waiting for them everywhere. Second of all, North Korean ammunition is much older than the 1964 ammo that Russia has already been using, that the whole world has been laughing at, right? Another thing is 100,000 North Korean soldiers. So you're telling me that North Korea is going to let them out of their country where they have been kept their whole life so they could see what freedom feels like and what other countries have? Absolutely not. Hi, Judy. Thank you so much. Second of all, it's 100,000 soldiers, which what, Kim Jong-un is just gonna let them go and be like, all right, peace. So I'm gonna let half of my military reserve out and prepare for for a revolt in my country while most of my military is out of there? Absolutely not. And third, the 100,000 soldiers, do you understand the cost of bringing those 100,000 soldiers from North Korea to Ukraine and bringing them up to the front lines? That would cost Russia so much money. They can't bring logistics and they can't bring transportation to their own soldiers. North Korea is not going to like sacrifice their military vehicles and all of this stuff, which are, by the way, super ancient because they barely have any money. Basically, North Korea is not going to like sacrifice all of this stuff in order to like help Russia. Second of all, what are these soldiers going to eat? You have to feed them. You have to like maintain them. You have to do all of this stuff in order for them to just get to Ukraine. Who's going to pay for that? Russia? Russia hasn't paid for their own men to eat. You think they have money or they have supplies to feed 100,000 North Korean soldiers? Who do you think is going to pay for it? North Korea? They're not going to pay to export their own men to just help Russia. They also can't afford it. Yes, North Korea does have like 1 million men army, but that army is also not prepared. It doesn't matter. But like that's okay. So that's 100,000 men is 10% of their army. They're not going to give away 10% of their army to Russia. Are you kidding me? That's ridiculous. It's not going to happen. And also, again, besides how many men there are in the army, again, North Korea. Do you want me to show you how far away North Korea is from Ukraine? Okay. So just for reference, in case you had no idea, North Korea is over here. North Korea is over there on the map. Ukraine is over here on the map. That is half the world, my dude. Half the world. And while on that journey throughout half the world, you need to feed 100,000 men. You need to transport them. What are you going to do? Put them in the railroad? You're gonna shove them on an airplane? What are you going to do with them? They need vehicles, and those vehicles are going to take a long ass time to even get to Ukraine. You got to feed them. You got to make sure that they have like some sort of supplies. You got to clothe them. You got to give them winter gear. Like, there is so much logistics with that is just impossible, that this whole claim of 100,000 North Korean soldiers is so laughable. I can't even like begin to laugh at it. It's just like such a freaking stupid statement. Like, at this point, why don't they just send Kadyrov troops, you know? More Kadyrov troops. Oh my gosh. I think there is a new post stamp that's coming out. So my dad just sent me this. So one sec, I'll show it on YouTube. So this, and it says, "Welcome to hell," in Ukrainian. Well, Armin, a lot of people who have never been in the USSR like the idea of communism because they don't want to work to make money. And they think that, oh, in communism, you just get everything handed because everybody has equal rights and equal opportunities, while in reality, no one has any opportunities. And all the people who have lived in the USSR will tell you what hell it has been. But tankies are going to be like, you just don't understand. I read a book about Lenin written by Lenin, and he was an amazing man. And it's like, okay. Anyways, let me see what Kyiv Independent has to say. Institute for the Study of War. Ukraine's recapture of Izum puts a stop to Russia's plans in Donetsk Oblast. According to the Institute for the Study of War, Russia can no longer advance on Bakhmut or Donetsk from the north, meaning any advances towards the cities have lost any real operational significance. Using HIMARS and other Western weapons, Ukraine was able to inflict major operational losses on Russia and recapture most of Kharkiv Oblast. The Institute for the Study of War said. The ISW report noted that the counteroffensive in Kherson Oblast is still making gains along the Dnipro River. Intelligence. Command of Russia's Western Military District dismissed after a series of mass defeats. As Ukraine's counteroffensive continues, Russia has changed the leadership of its army's Western Military District, says Ukraine's Defense Ministry and Intelligence Directorate. According to Ukrainian intelligence, Russian Lieutenant General Roman Borodnikov, who had commanded Russia's intervention in Syria and was appointed commander of the Western Military District on August 26th, was removed from command. Oh, another Russian general has been removed. I wonder why. Strange. Strange, maybe because they weren't effective, but the thing is they're not going to be effective because it's like it doesn't matter what kind of a general you put in front of a bunch of like cardboard dudes who don't want to do anything, who love drinking and literally thought that this was going to be like an easy buck that they're going to make. Nothing's going to happen. Anyways, yeah, Metzar, you, for avoiding typical Russian propaganda, Kyiv Independent on Twitter. Kyiv Independent is a Ukrainian publication. They do have a Twitter page, but you can also read their articles on their much bigger articles. They do have articles on their website, and then I would say, yeah, start with Kyiv Independent. Kyiv Independent is a very good source. Reuters is a very good source. Al Jazeera, Bellingcat is a good source. Could you imagine if we provided weapon systems that weren't 20 years old? Yeah, Tony, that's the whole, I'm sorry, Ton Y. That's a very good point. While HIMARS are working in Ukraine, could you imagine if we provided weapon systems that weren't 20 years old? Exactly. That's what I was saying. It's like, I mean, we're grateful for everything that we're getting, but the West has all the capabilities to end this war in about 2 months if they gave us modern weapons that they have on a lend lease. But lend lease is kicking in October. And then Druv says, in India, China is a much bigger danger to the world than Russia. Yeah, you guys, because you are territorially way further, so it's a different geopolitical situation. But Russia is going to try to make allyship with India. That's what Russia is going to go do, because India so far is the only country that not the only, but like China and India and a lot of African countries are the countries that haven't flipped off Russia yet. And Russia just offered India a gas deal for an immense discount, but for that, India would have to completely step away from anything that they have going on with the EU, because all of the places that have trade and have deals with the EU have to cap oil prices. So, like, basically, you can't buy more than a certain amount of oil for a certain amount of price. So, I don't know what's going to happen there. Maybe you have some insight. Well, it's okay. Russia does not provide... Russia provides Lend-Lease, yeah. Yeah, Kyiv Independent is really good. Kyiv Independent is a really good is a really good source. Oh no, reliable and trustworthy sources from Russia are not a thing. Like, I mean, Medusa is as an independent Russian media, but their take is also quite often very biased. And they do mostly report on stuff that happens within Russia. And like, they do still, like, they're pro-Ukrainian, but, so it's kind of like that. But yeah, Reuters, Bellingcat, and Kyiv Independent are very, very good sources. Okay, is you don't have to pay them back. Yeah, exactly. That's the best part about Russian lend-lease. Okay, well, Operation Troll failed today. Yeah, I don't think India would risk the sanctions from the West, but also let's see, because India. Well, actually, I think India does have a lot of partnerships with the US, so maybe they wouldn't. Oh, Nechta, yeah, Nexta is really good too. Yes, Nexta. It's a Belarusian source. It's an independent Belarusian source. They're not in Belarus anymore. She helped India in 1971 war when the West was against India, and that's why India doesn't vote against Russia. Yeah. Well, that's how Russia gets partners. Russia kind of like shows you, like, Russia extends a hand to you, but then the second that you're not necessary to them, they absolutely annihilate you too. But yeah, but yeah. Okay, guys, I will go. I need to record a video explaining the new Oh, Euromaidan Press is also really good. Euromaidan Press from Ukraine is a very, very good independent news source. Actually, most of our news sources are now independent. Hi, Freya. Oh my gosh, wait. Привіт. 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 Приємно бачити, Тарас. Maybe should stop supplying India with American weapons. I mean, we'll see. I genuinely need to brush up on India and geopolitics around it. DW News? What do you mean? Привіт. Ти трохи пізно, точніше, ти тільки що прокинувся, напевно, але я вже йду спати. Okay, I'm gonna go record a video. I'm gonna go record a video about the new resistance symbol in Crimea, and I'm going to go. So I will see you guys tomorrow. And also, Akita Freya is an account from Taras. Taras is the guy that I was telling you guys about, who helps. Die Welt. Die Welt is pretty good. Die Welt. Sorry, DW is German. Yes, Die Welt. I know. Okay, sorry. They're not too bad. Yeah, I like them. But basically, sorry, there is I want to tell you something. So there is Freya Akita. It's an account for a dog, and it's Taras's dog, and it's a 9-month-old Akita dog. So if you're Ukrainian, totally follow them. If you're not Ukrainian, even more totally follow them. And Taras is the guy that I was telling you about, who coordinates all of the supplies to the front. He fundraises for all of the different causes for the front lines. He helps out to get warm underwear, a warm uniform for the winter. He's basically the wizard of understanding what the front lines need, and he's the wizard of figuring out how to get it and how to deliver it there. So this is Taras, and Taras is also going to help us do the long-awaited by the women of the internet calendar of the calendar of the Ukrainian armed forces and first responders. That is basically the sexy firefighter calendar, but sexy Ukrainian fighter calendar. So yeah, what is the proper name to what site? eye candy calendar. Yes. Yes, so Taras is going to try and use his connections to get us to get us 12 naked dudes who are gonna be willing, 12 naked dudes in uniform from the Ukrainian military who are willing to pose for the calendar. I love Joe, and I love how you're like, all right, bye. This is where I'm out. Okay. All right, guys. See you later. See you tomorrow. You have my attention. See, we're gonna be launching a calendar. Are you getting baby animals for the calendar? It's out of my control. It's out of my control. Тарас, в них там на фронті ніде не знайдеться тваринок, з якими теж можна пофоткатись. I found some guys. Well, guys, it's much harder to find Ukrainian women. The car wash guys, yeah, but we found an SSO Azov potentially SSO Azov, guys. So you you let us work our magic. Well, here's the thing. I wanted to be mixed together, but the thing is, it's much harder because it's less like widely available. Can we have some gender equity? Yes, I want to do some gender equity, but here's the thing, like most of the people that like we can't grab people from the front lines, right? So we have to look for who we know who are currently training to go to the front lines. And so far we have only found some guys that have agreed to do this. Also, it's not like a super popular thing to do in Ukraine. So it's not like most people are going to be like, yeah, I want to do a sexy calendar. Like they have other things to worry about because start your own calendar. That's what I'm doing, but like I'm not gonna pose for it. But yeah, it's just hard to find. Like it's hard to convince people to do it. So we're gonna do what we're able to do. It's not about like the fact that we're not trying to do gender equity. It's just simply of who you can find who is available. But anyways, I gotta go. I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for hanging out. And I will see you tomorrow for the news. Bye.